Hi, and welcome back to another episode of Systems by Gaming Insurrection. I am editor in chief Lindsay Beatty, and we are doing one of our favorite games. As a matter of fact, our favorite game here at Gaming Insurrection. And I think I can speak for editor at large Brandon Beatty um, because he's not as a big a fan as I am, but I have spread the virtues of this game and the magic that is this game. We're talking about Super Metroid for Super Nintendo. I began playing Super Metroid probably, I want to say, early '94. I had gotten it for Christmas, and I had a Super Nintendo, of course. And so um, I booted it up. I'd never played it before. I'd never even heard of Metroid at that point. I didn't play the first Metroid on NES at all. Had no clue what Metroid was. And so I was probably 12, almost 13. And so I was getting to a point where I was able to pick my own games and um, discern for myself things that I liked and have my own taste. And I'd had a Super Nintendo for a couple of years by this point because I got one for Christmas in 1992. There is a photo of me somewhere. I might dig it up and put it here. But there's a photo of me on Christmas morning, 1992, holding up my SNES box, and I'm waving in the photo because that's what you did. You had to show off the box. So my mom was so excited too at the time. She was just like, "Go ahead, hold up the box and let us see what you got." Because I had no idea that I was getting one. I had bugged her to get one, and I remember I bugged her and bugged her and bugged her, and she said we'll see, which there was a very high chance I was getting whatever it was I asked for, but it wasn't a guarantee. That wasn't 100%. So when I said, "Mama, I really want this Super Nintendo. Like it is the Super Nintendo," and she's like, "Really? They made another one? Oh yeah, they did make another one, didn't they? All right, we'll see." So, and I bugged her. We would go to Target all the time, and because there was like, I mean, there's a couple of Targets in Columbia, but there is one that used to be out in Northeast Columbia, and it still is. It's out actually. It moved from where it originally was out on Decker Boulevard. It moved out to Two Notch Road. So that one Target, that's the Target we went to. And I remember going into Target and seeing Super Mario World for the first time and being super excited and just playing it and playing it and playing it and discovering things about it. So, also a massive Mario fan, if you couldn't tell, too, over the history of GI, that should have been obvious. So, anyway, I got this Super Nintendo finally, and I started renting games. I was now at the point where I could rent games. I had been renting games anyway for the NES, but I started renting games for Super Nintendo. And this specific Christmas, my sibling sent some games from Blockbuster. He bought some and sent them. So I got that year. I got Clay Fighter Tournament Edition and Super Metroid. And Super Metroid did not have an instruction booklet to come with it because he just bought the cartridge and sent it. And I was like, okay, so what am I supposed to do with it? Like, what is this game even about? So I'd never played it. He had played Metroid, but I had not. So I was just like, I have no idea what this is even about, but I'll give it a try because it looks cool. Y'all, Super Metroid was life changing for me. It has everything you could possibly ever want in an adventure. Lone like side scrolling adventure type game. Samus is a fantastic character. Um, Super Metroid itself is a well designed game. It is the perfect game. I can't think of anything there's not a single thing that I can think of that I would be like, this is a detraction and it makes me not want to play this game. I can play it now. Like I said, I first played it when I was 12, almost 13. I'm 43 now, so I've been playing Super Metroid for 30 years, and I still get excited about playing it, booting it up, starting from the beginning, playing it. Um, I have so my best personal time, because time is a thing in Super Metroid. The best time that you can get um, is under 3 hours, and my best is 1 hour 54 minutes. And my best item collection rate is 100%. I have gotten all 100% of the items, all missiles, power bombs, um, all of the special weapons, all of that. I've managed to do that at least once. Um, I shout out to my former wingman, wherever you are out there. I'm still playing Super Metroid. We beat it together when we were in the ninth grade. We were super excited. We finally got to the end. We started over. We had our own save file because the game that when I got the game, it already had 3 save files started. And so I said, all right, I'm gonna erase one of these, whichever looks like it's got the most time in it. I'm gonna erase one of these, and then I'll start on my own. So I started, and then he decided to play with me. He played alongside me, so he was my guide. I was the execution, and he was the map guy. So we played together through the entire game, and he was there when I got the 100% also, and when I got the hour 54 time. Um, yeah, I miss my wingman. So wherever you are, I miss you. Uh, we played through a lot of Super Metroid, and we actually beat the game well before we even got a strategy guide for it. So it wasn't until after I beat it that I got the strategy guide, the official Nintendo player's guide, and went through it and was like, oh, so that's what's there. Okay, all right. So it did help me get the 100% later on, because we went back and did another save file, and did 100% item collection, no matter the time. So one of them had my best time. One of them had um, my item collection rate at 100%. And so I've never done it together where I've gotten the hour 54 and the 100%. Um, it's doable. It's very doable. I also don't sequence break. So I usually go in the order, and I don't do any special conditions. Now, what I'm going to tell y'all before we start this video, my reaction, because what I did here is I started from the beginning, and I played through until Kraid, who is really technically the first major boss in the game. I played through to him. Now, what I did was, because I have played through this a million times, I used cheat codes this time. I've played through this game backward and forward. I know how this works. I've even played fan works where they switch around the order of weapons, and they switch around where bosses are located. So I've done it all. I feel like I've at this point earned the right to be able to do it however I want to do it for this video. Now, for the purpose of this video, I am using a cheat code where I do not take damage, and I think I have all weapons to start with, so that it just makes things much faster for the sake of making this video go much faster. So, because otherwise, me getting to Kraid is going to take probably a couple of hours, and in this case, it took, I think, probably 2 hours, maybe 2 hours. So, or maybe an hour, and I cut it down a little bit, and I actually was speeding through. I kind of skipped some things. Some things I knew where it was, so I just went and got it. But I didn't like go out of my way to do other weird stuff that you could do while you're doing this run to Kraid, on the way to Kraid. So I just want to preface this video by saying that. So also too, just to bring up, we have celebrated Super Metroid in our greatest games of all time issue. We talked about Super Metroid, I ranked Super Metroid as my number one game of all time. It is the GOAT. For me, it's the GOAT. And I also I have in later years bought a Super Metroid T-shirt, and I wear it to work. And my boss, this is awesome. My boss is the same age as I am, and he the first time I wore it, he was like, "Is that Super Metroid? Wait, you played Super Metroid?" I was like, "Of course I did." I was like, "You know, I'm a gamer in my spare time." He is too, but he recognized Super. He was like, "Yeah, I played through Super Metroid. I played a long time ago, but I played through it. It was a really good game." I was like, "Sir, this is why I want to be on your division." And good news, I am on his division, or I will be. So that's good news. But yes, Super Metroid has wide ranging impacts. I can't think of a single person that I've met in my lifetime who hasn't either played through Super Metroid or at least knows what Super Metroid is and why it's such an important game. Um, yeah. So yes, we love Super Metroid in this house. So that's why I decided to do it for systems finally, and do a little short playthrough to Kraid, from beginning to Kraid. So, all right, we're going to get started now. So I decided I had to do this in three parts. So the first part, I wanted to show you all my options and what I do, um, and show basically how this starts a little bit and what the option screen looks like. So I love this because it took me a long time to really understand what was happening here. Um, so then you start out with the classic, the last Metroid is in captivity, the galaxy is at peace. I actually have a ringtone that is that. It's Dan Osen, who I know says this. I love this narration. This is beautiful. I first battled the Metroids on planet Zebes. Good old Zebes. Also, too, I want to point out here that I have done a Metroid issue. I've done two Metroid issues, I think. At least one. And I made sure that I let the Metroid database guys know, because I really, 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 I'm one of those people. I'm a super fan, so I I have been to the Metroid database as a resource for years. They are excellent. They stay on top of Metroid news. They are they're excellent. Oh, also too here, this is one of the key hallmarks too, that you can tell that Samus is female. If you didn't already know, and you might have been confused that's whether or not Samus was male or female, because that was a whole thing too. In the first game, it says that the Metroid, it followed her around like a confused child, and so I was like, why would it follow you around like a confused child if it didn't think you were its mother? So, because just by going by this suit, you'd think Samus was male. She's not. She's female. Um, yeah, it took me a long time before I realized that Samus was female. And then and on top of that, I wanted to name my kid, if I'd had children, I wanted to name my kid Samus. If I'd had a girl, I was going to name her Samus Kaya. But alas, I didn't have the childrens. So I did not have a little girl. Both of my husbands were on board with that. Um, my current husband was on board well before we even talked about, um, like, seriously doing something together. But we talked about baby names, and I was like, I love the name Samus, and he was like, okay. These poor people at the Ceres space station. I don't know if it's Ceres or Ceres. I always want to call it Ceres. So I did learn what Samus means. It's Samus, and really it's Samus. It's pronounced Samus Aran is the correct pronunciation. But in English we say Samusu is actually Samusu Aran, but we pronounce it as Samus here, which is technically correct, I guess. Um, also too, this poor lady, she's dead in the intro, and this poor guy's also very dead. Um, And they're gonna also be very, very dead after the space station blows up. They're finna be space particles. Um, but I always think about that when I pull up the intro. So yes, I immediately come in here and was like, oh yeah, I gotta go over there and trigger him to show up. I was like, damn you, Ridley. Damn you. I can't stand Ridley. And actually, too, I was going to name one of my kids, if I'd had multiple children, I was going to name one of my kids Ridley, male or female. Ridley is male, I do believe. So the special thing about this, well, there's some things about whether or not it's male or female, but it's debatable. But most of the time, they identify Ridley as a he. So the special thing about this is, so Ridley triggers here, um, that you have to shoot him enough times, but you also have to get down. You have to lose enough. You have to lose enough health to trigger the emergency evacuation sequence. Um, I have actually. I'm not even gonna lie to you guys. I've actually, when the very first time I played through this on my own, I actually died here because I'm not realizing. Oh, you got to get out of here because again, I've never played the original. I hadn't played the original before I played Super Metroid, so I've since played the original, so I know all about it. Every Metroid game gonna have an escape sequence, every single one. That is a hallmark of the series. So yeah. So you get out of here automatically once you reach the top and get to your elevator. You get back to the elevator, and the space colony blows up, and she gets out of Dodge in her very, very cute ship. I'm so sorry that ship is gone now. It's good old planet Zebes. Used to be called. I know there was some translation issues, and once upon a time it was Zebeth. That was weird. So I wanted to play through that intro sequence at least once, so I could get on camera, that I've played through it at least once. And then I restarted. So I set it up so that as soon as I land on the planet, I got everything. So you're going to see me go into options here. And now you see I have all of the weapons. So I turn on everything. I don't keep on Spazer once I get Plasma Beam. Turn on all suits, high jump boots, space jump, and speed booster. Only thing I'm missing is the grappling hook, the grappling beam, and X-ray scope. Those are the only two things I don't have. And I mean, I could go get them right now if I wanted to. Now, this is the crazy thing. The way this is set up, and you see how this is set up. This is still set up, even though. So there's two conditions going on here, and two states really. So you see this fog and the little creatures that are just kind of hanging around. This is a pre-state before she finds the morphing ball and sets it off. Because with the morphing ball, there's a trigger for that. It sets a camera that alerts Mother Brain that she's on the planet. That Samus has landed on the planet. But also the second state here is these enemies are now appearing. But notice that there were no enemies in the first elevator shaft. That's one specific state. And then the second state is these enemies showing up here. So that's weird. Also, too, once you reach a certain point, and then I went over to get the morphin ball and I couldn't get it because it's not there. Because I technically have it. So, yeah, this is fixing to be really, really obnoxious too because I don't have missiles. And the way this is set up, my missiles are not doing what I want them to do correctly. So with these codes on, this is one of the caveats of playing with codes. So when I go back out here, I had to start it again because then my missiles disappeared with that code on. So now I'm going to get this energy tank that's there. The neat thing is I've played through this so much that I know that energy tank is there. And then if I go back and play the original, guess what's there? The energy tank. So I wanted to start getting energy tanks and things, but I wanted to get myself set up so that I had access to missiles and things. I really didn't need to do all of that because it's really not going to make a difference here. Not really. And yes, I could have possibly on up there, but I don't have power bombs yet, and I'm not gonna get power bombs. So now I did manage to get the codes working right, so I should be good to go. I have to go back up anyway right now. And all this intro beginning part where you see she's running around in this blue section is the old part of Zeebs. So yeah, it's the old part of Zeebs that you've already been through in the original Metroid. This section here is the old part that led to Mother Brain's um, chamber, because we're gonna get to that section in just a second. These were all the little rings. And see the little canister section where she would have sat where I just bombed. Yes, that was up underneath her tank originally. So there's a hidden missile under there, as Doom would say, hidden missile. So good old Doom in Marvel 3. um, yeah, that's one of the little things about Super Metroid. I like the little touches like that. Now, that section across that I came out straight across from the door that I'm looking at right now, that is where you're going to come out at the very end. You're circling back around basically up underneath all of this. You're going to come back out there. I think it took me beating it the first time for me to really understand, oh, this is a giant loop and it's a giant circle because she's already been here. Then I went back and played the original Metroid and beat it, and it was like, oh, now all of this makes sense. Oh. She said I first battled them on Planet Zeebs and SR388, but she's already been to Zeebs. She had been to Zeebs before this, before the first Metroid also. She was on Zeebs as a child because the Kozo people saved her after Ridley killed her parents, and the mining colony destroyed the mining colony on K2L. So yeah, she's already been on Zeebs. She kind of doesn't remember, I guess, or maybe she does. I don't remember if she actually remembers that she was on Zeebs. I think she does, because I seem to recall in the Super Metroid comic that she talked about the fact that she trained with Greybird on Zeebs. All right, so we're gonna go to our first mini boss here. I'm pretty sure this is the first mini boss. The cool thing is, yes, this is the Kozo statue. This music is awesome too when you first, but you're never gonna get the full track. You get it on the soundtrack CD. So they're telling you, don't be like me and ignore the directions, because I sure did the very first time. Had no idea how to set a bomb. I had to go back and teach myself how to set a bomb. And I stumbled on it. But this is the cool thing about using these codes. Ha ha! I used the plasma beam. So I have a plasma beam set. And one shot. Absolutely one shot. Oh, this section right here where I'm standing, you're going to come back in here and save the creatures. Do the right thing. Save the creatures at the end of the game. Come back in this room and save them. So, I know people who are like, man, I ain't going down there and saving them. Nah, we got to save them. Save the creatures. They helped you. You help them. The Ektoons and the I don't remember what the little bird is called, but it runs real fast. It teaches you about the jump, how to jump, like super jump basically. But yes, and the little wall jumping Ektoons, who I never did learn how to wall jump in this. I have never successfully wall jumped in Super Metroid. I just don't go in that room until I have the space jump. I just don't go in there until I have space jump, just to save myself the trouble, because I never learned. So yes, you should notice that I am not taking damage at all. So I think I go in here. I think this is where the map room is. It might be the missile where you refill your missiles and things. I think. I don't know. I don't remember. Let's see. I think this is the map room. Yes, I was correct. It is the map room. So now I get the whole map data access completed message, and I get a map. So this is this map is very incomplete right now. But it's showing you all of the major points except Norfair. But you get into Norfair later, and Norfair is so big that you map out most of Norfair before you even get the actual map for Norfair. You really don't need it by the time you get it. That's how big Norfair is. You could be in Norfair and not even realize it. So, um, yeah, I'm skipping the save point here. I don't really need it. I don't. Um, I mean, it's there if you want it. Um, Now the cool thing about this and what I love is I love how these graphics look. This game is one of the most beautiful games I've ever seen. It was beautiful for its time. Generally you can just run down through here too, but you should not have speed booster at this point. So running down through here is not advisable unless you have it. Um, but I wanted to come in here because I'm gonna need some energy tanks. Even though, and this is the key. There's a thing above that little section too when you come in that door. There's a secret up there. One of the things here that isn't pointed out is you need at least. Um, I was contemplating that I want to go in there and show the golden statue just yet, and I did go in there. These creatures also can't be killed unless you have a. The hive can be shot, but these things that are circling around the platform, the mushroom platforms, can't be killed unless you have the plasma beam. One of the things that people don't talk about in this is that if you don't know any better, you need to really be on the lookout for energy tanks. You got to get as many energy tanks as possible before you get to the end of the game. So, a little known thing here is if you get down here, I'm in Brinstar, by the way, and we're going to come upon my favorite section in just a little bit. Um, the soundtrack for this is also very good. It's perfection too. Um, I'm actually going in this room, and I shouldn't be in this room just yet, but I'm gonna do everything in this one room while I'm in here because I got the tools to be able to do so. See, I'm not supposed to be able to run under there really fast just yet, but I can. So get my reserve tank. See, I'm not supposed to have a reserve tank just yet. That's a whole thing, but um, now you get the auto symbol. Then you roll through here, get you a missile, and then there's another missile in this room. That's why I know it pays to look around. Anyway, you need to get as many energy tanks as possible because the minimum that you need to survive, you have to be able to survive at least one shot from Mother Brain. Okay, at least one. You gotta. Um, One shot is 7 energy tanks, so you need at least 7 to get to Mother Brain. Okay, and survive. Because if you don't survive the first shot, you gotta go back and do it again. Um, it's not a game over, but it's a you need to. Do you want to continue? They not going. Oh, you made it this far. Well, you got the Mother Brain, and you took one shot, but you couldn't survive that. Nah, they like you, you didn't survive one shot, so go ahead and need you to go back and try that again. And heaven help you if you saved. So I hope you got enough energy tanks. Hope you got enough energy tanks. Cause oh yeah, don't save at the second save point in um in Turian. Don't save at the second save point because you're gonna be doing yourself a very bad disservice. You cannot leave out of there if you save at that second one. So I hope you didn't. I really hope you didn't and then shut it off because that's bad. Just save at the first save point in Turian and just redo the sequence with the giant Metroid again. With the Super Metroid again. And you should be fine. Um yeah, that's where you get the little bird who teaches you the little bridge that looked funny. That's the little bird that teaches you how to do a super jump. I'm pretty sure super jump is called something else, but I call it super jump because that's basically what it is. All right, I was really kind of hoping I could come into this room that has a yellow door up here, but I can't. Um, I was kind of hoping I could go into this room, and actually I didn't want to go in there just yet. I didn't want to go up all the way up just yet. I was hoping I could go in this room right here, but I can't because I don't have power bombs yet. Um, I have space jump and I have screw attack, but I can't get over there to do because I don't have power bombs, and you need power bombs to open up some of these doors and to get some of these secrets, such as this one down here. After you get the charge beam, which is in like the most random spot, um, you there's a thing here, and I'm gonna bomb it um to show you that I need the power bomb. See, and you also have to have the gravity suit in order to make this work. So you really need power bombs and gravity suit. So it really does not pay to get that, come and collect that secret, which is a reserve tank, I'm pretty sure. It doesn't pay to come get that until after you've got those things. And you're gonna get power bombs whether or not you want to get power bombs or not. You're gonna get power bombs. That's a must collect item. So the and also because I don't have the grappling beam, I can't go across there just yet. I could, but because I gave myself screw attack and space jump, but um, yeah, I wasn't gonna go through all of that. This is a save point, also. Um, I mean, you could come in here. You don't have to, but it's advisable because you're getting ready to go fight the giant mutant plant thing. So yeah, you probably should save if you're early into the game. You ain't got but so much health. You ain't got but so much missiles, and on top of that, you ain't cheating like I am. So yeah, you should probably save. Um, it's highly advisable. Don't follow my example here. Um, yeah, I mean follow it because you're getting weapons and stuff, but don't follow my example and cheat. Also, there's an anti cheat code built in. You have to turn on um, you kind of have to like turn on weapons. You have to turn on the the codes after you start your game because otherwise it will erase the game. It's an anti mod device basically built into the game. A couple of games had that built in back in the day. I'm waiting on Homeboy to open up here because he's gonna be a one shot. He got one shot with that plasma beam. Let me tell y'all how powerful the plasma beam is. Plasma beam does some stuff in the late game stuff, but listen, a plasma beam early on in Super Metroid, there are things that are going to be one hit, such as I think Kraid is a one hit. Mister Dancing Piranha Beam Plant there, he's he a one shot. The golden Kozo, the Kozo statue that you got to fight, he a one shot. Pretty sure a couple of other things that you fight, but well before you get this plasma beam, are one shots. They take one shot from a plasma beam and they die, which would make that so much easier. Um, I can't remember who else is a one shot. Um, and see how fast I did this sequence. Usually this takes probably about 20, 30 minutes just to get to this point. And that's with me being experienced and knowing what I'm doing and knowing where I'm going and all of that. So, yeah. All right. So this leads back to criteria. So I'm not going to go up there, but this leads back to criteria. There's a secret here too. If you don't have the ice beam, if you have the ice beam, you can get this. You can collect this. If you do have it, you can jump up there. You can freeze something and jump up there. It's a lot of work, so I just usually just wait till I have space jump to do it. Because otherwise, it's not really. I mean, it's just missiles. It's not that crucial that you must get it. So, all right, now we're going into my favorite section. We're getting there. Um, this is always a neat sequence. He should give you, yeah, a super missile. Okay, super missile. He's always going to give you a super missile because that door is a green door until you open it. This is my favorite section ever. It's red. It's called on the soundtrack. It's called Red Soil Swampy Area. I was hoping he was going to give me a power bomb early, but he didn't. Um, so this is my favorite section. I remember the very first time I played this, I just came here, I heard this music, and I just sat here. And of course, made my time go up, but my usage time go up. But yeah, no, I love this. I love this music. Um, it is my favorite track on the soundtrack. Um, Now I'm gonna do some things. I've already sequence broken here because I gave myself all the weapons. But you need to come up here and get Spazer. Um, you need the Spazer in the beginning. I highly recommend getting Spazer in the beginning. Yeah, later on it's superfluous once you get the wave beam and once you get the plasma beam. Spazer is kind of, but in the early going, you need it. And see, I had to turn it on. I had to go in and turn it off because I just collected it. So, and I realized it as I was shooting, and I was like, wait a minute, why did my beam look crazy? No, I need the plasma beam back on. So, Spacer spreads out. It says it does exactly what it says it does. It spreads out your beam. So you're gonna see me in a minute just go in and turn that beam back on. Um, good old glass cabinet. You have to break this with a power bomb. So you really can't do anything just yet there. That leads you into Meridia. That's generally the way people get into Meridia. Um, I was like, do I need to go down first or do I want to go across first? We're gonna go down first. All right. So this is the sequence I suggest that you do if you are playing normally. Also, come down here into Norfair. Come down into Norfair and get. Now I could go in there in the green door, but I'm not gonna because I'm cheating right now. So that's kind of sequence breaking. But I want to show y'all what I would normally do here. Normally, I will go in this room to the left with the pink door and get the high jump boots first. This is one of the rooms that you can come in without needing the Varia suit because the Varia suit protects you from heat damage. If you come in here, if you go in any of the other rooms without having on the Varia suit, you're going to instantly start taking damage. So you want to come in this room first, get high jump boots. They really kind of expect you to come in here and get high jump boots first. Um, and do it that way. Save yourself the trouble of trying to figure out which room is a safe room and which one is not. Now, you got to come back, wait for this guy to complete his little journey on around, but kill this little fellow who coming around because he activates the door. So, come up here and get your missiles. You can't help but get them. I mean, they practically throw. Okay, so you get 250 missiles, I think it is. Yeah, well, like 100 of them, they kind of just throw at you. They put it in your path, like you don't have a choice. Like that one there too. Then you don't kind of have a choice. You're gonna get that missile. You got to collect that missile, whether or not you want it to or not. So for right now, just go in there and get high jump boots. Don't go do nothing else because you can't really do nothing else. You really can't. Not with the weapons you're supposed to have at this point. So we're gonna go back up and out. I don't remember when I changed my beam back, but I realized it pretty fast. I was like, oh, I need to change this beam. This beam looks terrible. Why did my beam look like this? Also, too, I want to know how did that creature get up there and how he got frozen? And why is it cold right there? But I don't think it's cold anywhere else. Yeah, that's kind of weird. um, so that door does not open until you kill Kraid, which we're fixing to do. So, all right, now we're in the room with Kraid. Well, we're in his outer chamber room. Let's call it that. we're in the section. I should say not the room, but the section with Kraid. All right, now there's some stuff in here, and I kept shooting around, thinking it was in this. There is a secret in this room aside from where I need to go, but I can't get in there just yet. So that's why I was shooting at the ceiling because I kept going. Isn't there something in this room? I seem to recall and couldn't. That's why I was bombing it a little bit and trying to figure out what it was. And then I realized you gotta have power bombs just to get in there. So it ain't worth the trouble of doing all that. Sorry. Now we're in his real outer chamber, and now we're fighting the little key hunters, I guess. They're like key hunters. Now this is the little fake Kraid, and this is supposed to be like a little Easter egg and throwback to old Kraid, how big old Kraid actually was. Ah, this is where I changed my beam back. Okay, I did. I changed my beam back. Um, so also too, I guess I should point out what the point of the reserve tanks are. So reserve tanks, they give you a little extra beyond your regular energy tank. So right now I have all the missiles I need anyway. So I have infinite missiles and infinite health. But they give you a little boost beyond that. So you get another 400 units of health per whichever one you get. So basically 4 more energy tanks. But when Mother Brain tear you up, Po guy here, um, I feel sorry for him because he got ate up. He probably got killed by the eye thing on the door, and then he got ate up by the bugs. I always feel sorry for him. I always kind of pause and pay my respects to him because I'm like, buddy, you died. Hey, Craig, check this out. I'm gonna bust you in the face. Actually, so watch this. Oh, instantly he had like 75% life gone. So he's not a one shot. He's really a 2 shot because that was 2 shots. Oh, Kraid. He like, oh, this is some foolishness. He like, this some foolishness. How dare you cheat? I'm like, yeah, bro. Sorry. All right. So I got my Varia suit and good deal. That's your first major suit upgrade. And I'm talking about like suit, not just like weapons or anything. So we're in his little antechamber off to the side there. And that concludes my playthrough. I told y'all I was gonna get to just Kraid, and that was it. There's some things to do after you. I mean, obviously, there's way more things to do. And I thought I had gone to the golden statue, but I had not. So what happens here is when you so there's a statue, and this is how you're gonna get to Mother Brain. And I feel okay spoiling this because the game is, 30 years old at this point, more than 30 years old probably. But you're gonna get to her because there's a golden statue where I said there was a pink door, and I was like, I'm contemplating, do I want to go in this pink door to the right or do I want to go in the blue door to the left? Well, the pink door to the right takes you to a room that has like a pond and a golden statue sitting in the middle of it. Okay. And this golden statue, if you look at it and you pay attention, it's all 4 bosses. All 4 of the mini bosses that you would fight. Kraid, Ridley, Phantom, and Khartoum, I think is what his name is. And you're gonna fight those 4 bosses. Now, what I learned, and it took me forever to understand what was happening here, until I actually played through the game myself. Once you get to that statue, you go to that statue every time you beat a boss, and it takes out they're connected. Their life force is connected to this gem that's in it, and so when you beat them, the gem breaks, disappears, and leaves, and then their part of the statue deactivates. Once all 4 pieces have deactivated, you then get it lowers into it sinks down, and it lowers and gives you access to the elevator to get to Turian. And that's how you get to Mother Brain, because Mother Brain is sitting there waiting in Turian, at the end of Turian. And Turian is a very straightforward sequence. You're not gonna get out of you're not game breaking that sequence at all. You're gonna go through that sequence and be done with it. Um, but it's how fast you get there is the key here, because it's the same every single time. I mean, all of this is the same, but you cannot sequence break. As far as I know, you cannot sequence break to get to Mother Brain. Now, you could possibly in the sections leading up to Mother Brain, you might could do that, but I don't know. I've never tried, and I don't want to find out. So I love watching other people do it and figure this stuff out. So I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, no, you can or you can't. Okay, cool. I appreciate that you took the time to figure this out. But yeah, no, I have no interest in doing it myself to figure that out. I do know what sequence breaking is and how kind of to do it, and sort of, just from watching. So, I hope this has been an enjoyable trip through Super Metroid, one the favorite game of all time of mine. It is a very, very, very good game. There's a reason why it's the template for a lot of action games, and why later Metroid games keep revisiting this topic, keep coming back to Super Metroid, keep talking about Super Metroid, because it's the best game in the series. It is the best game in the series. Now, I have to say, there are some other good games. Metroid Dread. Metroid Dread's pretty good. I'm gonna, just from what I've watched and seen, because I have it, I need to start it. Um, it from what little I've watched, uh, it looks like it's a fantastic game, and it's a return to form, which is what we want. We want a return to form. And that's not to say that Metroid Prime is not a good series. It's just that I can't play Metroid Prime as much as other people. Metroid Prime, the original Metroid Prime on GameCube, absolutely makes me violently physically ill because of the 3D in it. Early 3D and polygonal textures bother me. I get motion sickness from it. I'm one of those people that is probably very likely responsible for the little warnings in your manuals. Well, when you used to get a manual, but they have a warning that says motion sickness is possible. If you experience motion sickness, stop playing and seek help. Yeah, I'm one of those people who that warning was made for. I discovered it playing. Oh gosh, what was the game? Um, it's a first person shooter. I keep wanting to say Hexen, and it's not Hexen. It was on 64. Um, it's a first person. It's like Doom. It's like the sequence. It's the sequel sister series to Doom, but made by id. But I can't. It. I played it and tried so hard to play it and could not. I would get through the first level and have the worst headache and be sick and have like feel like queasy, like I wanted to throw up. Um, Sonic games, quality notwithstanding, but Sonic, like early 3D Sonic games, can't play those either. Any first person shooters that probably 90, probably 2000, early anything pre 2000 cannot play it. Um, GoldenEye 64, I can play that for about maybe 30 minutes, and then I get a headache. And Sonic 2, Sonic Adventure 2, absolutely cannot play that whatsoever. I actually had to take something and go lay down after I played it. So that was a no go for me, even though I have like 5 copies of it in the house for Dreamcast. Various systems. I have Sonic Adventure 2. Um, but Metroid Prime is a no go. And I love, listen, I love the concept. It's a well made game. I really did enjoy playing what I played, but trying to circumvent, and it's the constant, her morphing into a ball, her coming out of the morph ball, her first person visor moving around. I'm like, I want to play first person as Samus because I love this character so much. But, but we cannot do that. It made me so sick. Um, I had, and that is why to this day I've not played Metroid Prime 2. I haven't played 3, and I ain't fixing to play 4. I am not, I could probably play 4. I actually probably could play 2 and 3 now, with the remasters, and I could probably play 4 because graphics have evolved since then. It's probably nowhere near what it was when the first Metroid Prime came out, but I'm hesitant to do it. Just because I know how awful I felt playing the first one. And I love the first game. I promise y'all, I love the first game. But yeah, it's a no. The first one is a no for me. And I've reviewed it. I have played enough of it that I could review it. But ooh, it made me sick trying to do it. Um, I was like, look at me sacrificing my health for Metroid. So yes, I hope that you guys like what you saw and that you enjoyed my little playthrough here of Super Metroid. Thanks for watching, and we will have more editions of systems coming. It'll be games that I really, really enjoy playing, and I like playing, and that I like talking about. As you see, I love talking about Metroid, so there's that. Hopefully, you guys will come back and watch more episodes soon. See you guys later.